All right. I think we're live. Just going to make sure we are looking good on Instagram. Instagram is a little bit funky. Is it my focus? I'm trying to make sure that my focus is good. Okay. Testing out the audio, making sure that we're good. Gonna slide over just a smidget. Am I good? Am I good? Am I good? All right. And actually, let me get my my Stream Deck. Can't do anything without that. I love my Elgato Stream Deck. So, hey, how's it going, y'all? In today's video, hopefully, I'm back in position, and I'm back perfectly in the most perfectest position, and I'm going to go live on Instagram. Sorry for the folks on YouTube. How's everybody doing? Hope all is well. Let's see how we sound. Making sure that we sound pretty good. All right, let's see. Gil is live on Instagram. Let's see how we sound. Making sure that we sound pretty good. All right, let's see. Gil is live on Instagram. All right, it looks fantastic. Let's see how we sound. It looks and sounds fantastic on Instagram, and on YouTube. It already looks well. Yeah, if you're watching, tune in, say hi, say hello. This live stream is about my podcast workshop that I'm doing this Saturday, October 19th. And I'm just going to be talking about the things that I'll be going over. This is actually my third workshop, but to me, I think that this is like the biggest workshop. And I'm not saying like the biggest as in this is the best workshop that you'll ever attend. Live 2024, October 19th, Gil Dormius at CoSpace. It's not that. I mean, as far as when I say the biggest workshop, in the sense of this is at the moment of time, the most knowledge, experience that I have gotten over the years as a content creator, photographer, podcast producer, as a Gil, as a person, and all of those things have culminated and cooked. You know, it's like a stir fry. So people coming to the workshop will be getting some of the best, highest quality information, prominent and most potent information and timely information as possible, because right now we're living in a time where it's all about content creating. It's all about Anola. Let's see, you can get your comment up here. I just saw it. Where did it go? There we go. Wait, there we go. Put it up on screen. Yay. Hey, thank you for joining in. I'm gonna fix the comment so that way people on YouTube and Instagram can see it. Get it right here. Boom. Thank you for joining in. Let's see how that looks on Instagram. Yeah, so like I was saying, the workshop is it's the biggest workshop. Again, because I have learned so much over the past couple of years. Technology has grown. There has been a more emergence and acceptance of podcasts. Just to give you a backstory, I love podcasting. I love radio. I wanted to be a radio host back in the day. I still listen to NPR. Science Friday is one of my favorite programs. Radio Lab was one of my favorite audio programs. Snap Judgment with Glenn Washington. Fresh Air with Terry Gross. So listening to people tell stories was interesting, but obviously I don't have a radio station. So years later, I was able to understand the intricacies of podcasting, intricacies of using a microphone to tell a story, to speak to others and collaborate. And obviously with podcasts, that's where we're at right now. Like the Breakfast Club, we have multiple political figures. We have Vice President Kamala Harris. You have President Donald Trump. You have President Obama speaking to podcasters, and speaking to podcasts on podcasts about their views. We have businesses throwing ads. This is where political people are. This is where the world is. So why don't you get into it too? That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing is just like everybody else is in it right now. So what makes you think that it can't work for you, if that makes sense? Get the comment out of there. Let's see where we're at. But yeah, so my whole thinking is I need to learn this because obviously everybody's doing it. Obviously everybody is wanting to learn how to do it. And that's how I kind of got into podcasting. So that was like 2013. I started creating my own podcast. My first podcast was called The Listener. I would hit up people on Craigslist and I'll put ads and I'll say, hey, looking to interview people with military experience, looking to interview people who are scientists or researchers. And I have a compiled list of a bunch of interviews that will never see the light of day because they were extremely early on. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I have a podcast workshop coming up, so I'm pretty much talking about that. But if you have any questions about content creating, podcasting, anime, cars, anything, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I would love to discuss it. This is an open conversation, open forum, but also just wanted to talk about my workshop that I have coming up in Miami Gardens at a place, beautiful place called the CoSpace. It's a collaborative place for not only creators, but business owners, everyday people to just come, connect, collaborate, vibe, drink amazing coffee, and have just an amazing experience. So I'm hosting my biggest workshop there. And if you didn't listen to it early on, this is my biggest workshop. I've done two or three before, and they were great. I love the turnout of the last ones, and I love my knowledge and experience that I had back then. But now, ultimately, this is the biggest. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And another thing that I'll be going over in the workshop is the emergence of AI. I haven't really talked much about how AI is going to be mentioned in the workshop, but it's kind of like obvious. But I definitely was talking over with my wife, and I was like, I think I should talk about how AI is definitely going to be a part of the discussion at the workshop, simply because AI is a tool, and the workshop is like a metaphor, right? Like we're doing a workshop. We're in a shop place where we're using tools, and I'm going to show you how to use these tools and these thinking to help you elevate your business, help you elevate your craft. And essentially, AI is definitely going to be one of those tools that I'm going to be discussing. One AI tool in particular is you have ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an amazing tool. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT. I can't really say how ChatGPT isn't so influential. It's everything for some people. It doesn't help me come up with topics. Excuse me. It doesn't only help me come up with topics, but it also helps me structure out episodes, or it helps me like mind map. As a creator, I have like a multitude of things that I'm normally thinking about, and ChatGPT always kind of helps me out. Yes, the CoSpace. CoSpace is the best. I love going there. I love working there. I love meeting people there. CoSpace is like one of those places to where it's like, I can't believe this exists. I can't believe that this place exists. So if you like magical places, if you like places where there are no bounds to your creativity, there are no restrictions in how much love there is to be given, come to CoSpace. It's a pleasure to be there. It's a pleasure to even like know Joy, the owner of CoSpace, and Anola, who works at CoSpace. Everybody there is just magical. It's crazy. It's beautiful. But the workshop, again, I wanted to go back into that, and I wanted to talk about the structure. And also something that I'll be giving away in the workshop is my podcast planner. So this podcast planner, oh, did we lose focus there? I think we lost focus. Oh, my lens has been tripping since yesterday. I have no idea why. Like, literally has been tripping. Where are we? Where's the focus? Okay. There we go. My lens, I've had this lens for maybe like 3 years. Never had any issues up until yesterday. I'm not even sure why. But I'll be talking about my podcast planner that I'll be giving away to every participant at the workshop. And I have 3 designs. I have this nice marble design. I have the traditional composition notebook. And one question that I got yesterday, I did a live stream with Mark Ronick. He has a great podcast. He has a great team over there. And I was on his Minvo live stream. And he talked about, he's like, why did you choose a journal? Why did you, what was the purpose of having it like a written journal instead of like something digital? And the short answer was, when you write stuff down, you remember it. And for me personally, and I know some people say, yeah, it's kind of easy for you to do a journal. It's like extremely monetizable, something to sell a physical merchandise. But I actually take down notes when I'm creating, when I'm having ideas. Like I have this great idea for a video that I'm doing, and I was at work and I wrote it down, structured it. What is the objectives? Who is the target audience? What is the synopsis of this video? These are some of the things that I jot down on a consistent basis. On my board right here to the right of me, I have a thing that says hook, question, story, statement, audience. Like, who is this for? And these are some of the things that I have implemented in my podcast planner. And this is something I'll be going over at the workshop, so that way people could definitely take advantage of it. And another question that Mark asked, and a lot of other people ask, hey, so is the podcast planner and the podcast workshop only for podcasters? And like the short answer is like, it's going to be a tool. Again, it's a workshop, something that you'll be able to use in your creative business. And I think that once you understand or grasp an understanding of what it is that you're learning, you'll notice that it'll open up your mind and see you can use it for a ton of other creative things. So yes, it could work for your podcast, and then it'll work for your YouTube channel. Then it'll work for your Instagram. Once you understand how to create, once you understand which we'll be going over, how to use your camera and how to connect it with your microphones, the creative possibilities, and I can't wait to see that. Like there's this like aha moment that clicks, is that clicking moment I love seeing when I'm doing consultations with creators or people who say that they're not creators, and it's just this clicking thing that happens in their mind when I'm telling them, hey, you just got to do this, you got to do that. And I was like, yeah, you could use a program like Ecamm, StreamYard works, and then you just see a moment where they clicks. It's amazing. But yeah, so Saturday I'll be going over everything. It's going to be hands-on. Another question somebody asked, like, is this a workshop and you're just going to be pointing at a board and you're just going to like go to page 6 and do that? No, this is going to be a hands-on workshop. I'm going to have microphones. I'm going to have cameras. I'm going to have interfaces that you can use. Like we're going to talk about it, and you're going to get a chance to actually utilize these systems, utilize these products. That way you can get a hands-on and understand it. The problem is, the problem with technology now, or life now in general, is that you can you can literally watch a YouTube video on a camera or on a product and basically buy it, but not really know how to use it, or you're not too familiar of it within your hands. I remember I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 89, grew up in the 90s. And I remember going to Radio Shack. I remember going to CompUSA. I remember going to Circuit City and When I used to build PCs or fix my family's computers at home, I would go to CompUSA or Radio Shack and buy a modem or buy a sound card, get my hands on it first, read about it on online forums, and which was YouTube before, back in the day, where they would take pictures. Hey, make sure you plug this port in, make sure you do that, screw this in, use a stainless steel, use this, make sure you use an anti-static cloth. These are the things that they will tell you to do and when you're buying or doing whatever the case is, right? So I'd go to Radio Shack, go to these places, look at the product, touch it, feel it, and everything, and then come back home, have a better understanding of what I'm actually working with, and then maybe find another fix around, maybe buy the product, and before I buy it, I can see that, wait, this actually won't fit for my setup. Nowadays, we're just buying things on Amazon. Nowadays, we just see it. All right, that looks good. The pictures look clean. It's super bright. I'll buy it. Then you buy it and you're like, whoa, this is too big, or this is too heavy, or this doesn't really fit the dimensions. Even though I checked the dimensions and the size, I forgot to account my setup. And what the workshop is going to fix, and the problem is with workshops are that most of them are online, most of them are remote. This workshop fixes it by you having me there as an instructor and having the product there. That way you can actually get your hands on it. Get your hands on the Rodecaster Pro. You'll be able to plug in XLR cables for the first time if you haven't done that already. Understand how to wrap a cable. Understand how to connect your audio to your camera, so that way you can make everything communicate and sync. It's going to be a good time. I highly recommend you come, but also bring a friend. That way you and your friend could actually learn together. This is going to be a collaborative project, especially if you are a podcaster or a new podcaster. Bringing somebody along, having that accountability partner, it's going to be a game changer, simply because both of y'all or all three of y'all could actually learn together, and this is going to be something really fun. And also, after you attend the workshop, you have access to the biggest resource in the entire world, me. You'll be able to contact me. Hey, I have a quick question about this cable. Hey, I'm having this weird audio signal where it's buzzing. I'll be able to help you out. So not only are you going to be getting hands-on equipment, hands-on time with equipment, not only would you be getting some up-to-date information on the podcast industry, software, hardware, AI, and getting yourself a podcast planner, but you get the addition of having me in your back pocket. Whenever you are in a pinch, whenever hey, I just recorded this podcast episode and the audio is just horrible. I don't know what happened. Hey, I'll take a look at it, see what happened, see what might have happened, and help you understand how to, avoid that misstep. I remember when I started podcasting, I didn't necessarily have a group of people that I would lean on, right? Because podcast production was pretty much it's a new thing. And in 2014, when I pretty much was getting my first hands-on podcasting, getting me a Blue Yeti, which is like a microphone. It's super funny how I coveted this microphone. This was like my first investment into podcasting. It was, I think I paid like $20, and it was a Blue Yeti microphone, and it was broken. The components were pretty bad, but all I did was have to solder the components. The gentleman on offer said it doesn't work. You can't plug it in, but it's still good. So I paid $20 for it to experiment, and I soldered the Blue Yeti, got it to work, and that was my first podcasting microphone. And it's trust me, once you start talking on a microphone, once you hear your voice, once you hear yourself on the microphone for the first time, you'll be like, oh man. And that was years ago. That microphone, I would even touch it with a 10-foot pole. I would get it for nostalgia, but using it now after knowing what good audio sounds like, I'm not doing that. And the funny story is I I gave that Blue Yeti to a family member, and I wanted to do a video about the Blue Yeti. And then I asked them, "Hey, can I borrow the Blue Yeti real quick? I just need to like do a quick video and compare it to like a bunch of other microphones." And they're like, "I lost it." I'm like, "Oh, no. Oh man, like that was crazy." But yeah, so at the workshop, you'll be able to get hands-on with microphones, hands-on with everything, and then, like I said, you get the addition of having me as a somebody in your back pocket. I mean, there are plenty of times while I'm creating, like I was saying, that's what I was saying. I got derailed. uh, when I first started in 2014, I didn't necessarily have a bunch of people doing podcasts. There wasn't a lot of people doing podcasts. Actually, I knew nobody doing a podcast. The only podcasters that I knew were like people who were like not even living here. A lot of them were NPR correspondents. You have Terry Gross, you have Glenn Washington, Ira Flato, Ira Glass. You have all these other notable people just doing radio style podcasts. Of course, Joe Rogan was doing his thing, Joe Budden, Charlemagne the God, Andrew Schultz. But I knew nobody in my vicinity doing podcasts. So the only people that I could actually lean on were actually radio DJs, because they, in a sense, understood audio interfaces. So I would ask them, "Hey, I just got this new Behringer mixer. I'm trying to input audio from my iPhone with a quarter jack to 3.5. I don't understand why the audio is not working." And they couldn't understand because the thing is here's the thing. And it's most people get into a thing and don't necessarily understand the intricacies of that thing. And it was so irritating when I was talking to DJs who do parties, who do events, like they know how to like put music on into these speakers, and they didn't necessarily understand how to like send audio out to another product or another like system. And I was like, "Hey man, I just want to get my iPhone to take phone calls from like my phone and connect it to the mixer. Can you help me?" And they didn't really know how. And I was really hurt because I really wanted to do it. So you'll have me in your back pocket. You'll have me pretty much helping you out anytime you need it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Do y'all have any questions? Anything that y'all are curious about as far as AI, as far as cameras, as far as microphones, as far as setup? Like right now, I have a pretty simple setup, and I'm bringing this setup to the workshop. So this is just a one camera, one microphone setup that I'll be able to bring. I could bring it anywhere actually. So I'll bring this setup to the workshop, because some people who are attending the workshop actually said, "Hey, I'm not really interested in podcast production per se. I just want to do what you're doing on Instagram, where you have your camera and you have your microphone. It sounds and looks so crispy." I was like, "Well, I could show you. We're going to do a hands-on segment during the workshop, but hold on, let me see. We'll be able to do like a hands-on segment at the workshop, but it's not going to really be all about that. I mean, obviously we're going to go over it, but there are plenty of other things that we'll be discussing as well." Also wanted to talk about target audience. Like that's one of the main things in the workshop that I want to discuss, because early on in my content creator career, I mean, even now, sometimes I'm just kind of everywhere. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of everything. And your audience, when you go into like, the best way I could explain, like right now, I just left Home Depot. And I needed to get an AC filter and some AC tape, like for my AC unit. I kind of felt like there was some air leakage, so I wanted to tape it up with some of that aluminum tape. Home Depot has a plethora of things. When I go into Home Depot, I know what I want. Your audience knows what they want, and they go into your videos and they go to the aisle exactly what they want. Like, don't try to make them get anything else. So when they come to your channel, they're coming for information about tech. They're coming for information about podcast production. They're coming for information about whatever the case is. So that video needs to be clear and concise. Get them in and get them out. But not even just get them out. Get them to keep coming back. And that's one thing that I'm still trying to learn, which is why I included target audience in my own podcast planner and in my own workflow. So this video, when I wrote it down in my journal, I said, I want to be able to make a video today about my podcast workshop that's coming up. I want to be able to attract people who want to learn about podcast production. I want to be able to attract people who have podcast studios and want to level it up. So this was the goal of the workshop. And again, if you are just tuning in, this is my biggest workshop. This is the biggest one that I'm ever going to do. And it's not because of how many people are going to be there, but it's going to be the biggest in the sense of this is the most knowledge and experience that I've had over the years. And I've done several workshops before, but this is going to be the biggest one yet. And I'm really excited for the people that are going to be there. Hey, Heather, yo, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, this is Heather, y'all. This is Heather Ramirez. She's an amazing creator, somebody that really, really inspires me to be extremely accountable to create. I'm getting creeped out here. I'm not creeped out, but she really inspires me a lot. She has a group called she has a YouTube channel, and she has a YouTube segment called The Huddle Up. I've joined The Huddle Up, and it's a place for creators, big or small, to come up and just be accountable with each other. Hey, I'm going to be uploading a video today. And she has SMART goals, which I forget the acronym for, but I think about it all the time. Gil, are you going to be able to do this video? Is this a SMART goal? No, it's not a SMART goal. You don't have to like kill yourself. But she has been extremely influential for me for the past couple of years now since I've known her, and she is a genius. So check her out. She's doing amazing things. So yeah, thank you for hopping on. I have to catch the replay. I'm watching. Oh, I'm about to come up on the Huddle Up right now. So yeah, I wanted to do this before the Huddle Up, and it's already 4. But thank you for hopping on. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, that's awesome. See, this is the reason why I love creating. You just meet amazing people that you have. I don't think in a normal life, like everyday life, you would ever meet up. Like there's no reason for me to have known Heather other than the love of creating. And it's kind of crazy how, just life is just weird. Oh, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. I'll try to continue to, as you continue to inspire me, I'll continue to inspire you by just continuously creating. So I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, thank you everyone. If y'all are interested in the podcast workshop, go to gildormis.com/workshop. And get your tickets now. It's going to be this Saturday. And if you are interested in YouTube creation and being a part of the community, I'm going to send a link to Heather's live stream right now. I'm actually heading there as we speaketh. So I'm gonna tag it. I'm actually put a link down here so that way y'all can get it. And where is it? Where's my YouTube? Oh, I'm Ecamm. I'm using Ecamm here. So boom, paste it. Check her out. She's amazing. So if y'all are interested in that, I actually put it in the description of the video as well, so y'all can hop on. And thank you so much for tuning in on Instagram. Thank you for hopping on Instagram, and thank you for hopping on YouTube as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.